Here we are today. I'm happy to be in a very particular place. I'm with Erez Ohayon, chef. We are in Casentino, and the cocktail tapas restaurant, lounge, bar, or simply restaurant, a very particular restaurant called Kaima, which means sustainability. And the feeling is to be in front of something absolutely out of ordinary. We are meeting a project of dealing with the environment, of course, sustainability, but deal with what is on the background, but with the view, with the sight projected on the future, because we are doing something he is doing, and his team is doing something really advanced, and I never saw anything like that, to be frank. Erez is able to combine poetry with science of food, which is something unique, and as an Italian, I must say, it's something that we have to recuperate from our culture. Probably you can find a bridge with many other cultures to find the essence of living together, and as food and the ritual of sitting at a table and having food together is something important. It doesn't matter where you are from, but this is definitely a point that can join different culture. Erez is coming from very far away. His path is very complicated. He has been in many places. He's chef since lots of years. He has lots of experience of different scenarios. And what to ask? A lot, but we can't stay here for many hours. So I try to go straight to the point, which is, let's start. The first thing I ask Erez is, how did you develop this love for nature and food?
I think it's not something I developed. I think it's something that found me. You don't choose your love. I think it's just something you feel all of a sudden. So I just found myself in the kitchen and in love with the atmosphere, with the adrenaline, with the heat, with this madness, with this unstable situations that you find yourself once in a while constantly in the kitchen. So this is what I like as a person, probably, and it just found me ever since I'm there.
Yeah. What I feel is a big search of harmony. Harmony, you can say, between different tasters of the ingredients you handle, but could be in a more extensive meaning. The harmony is a life harmony. Sustainability is the name you want for your restaurant. And is it or how you consider something harmonic?
Well, definitely. So the harmony is it's also between ingredients, it's between people, it's between everything together, between the ingredients and the person that is touching it and transforming it into something. So as we saw before earlier when we were in the woods, if something grows next to something different, probably there is a reason, there is a harmony between them that we're combining different flavor or help each other. So it's everywhere.
It seems that you get your inspiration from the nature. The nature is the biggest example, is the harmony, because the environment is harmonic. A plant can grow together if the soil, the light, the temperature, the water, many elements work together as a team to make the plants give the best. When you consider you achieve your building this best, when you prepare a dish, you prepare a plate, you prepare an assortment of ingredients,
First of all, when I feel happy with my palate. So my palate is saying that's good, that works.
Yeah.
That the real confirmation would be when a guest tell me, wow, what is that? How did you thought about it? And then you ask yourself, how did I thought about it? And sometimes you don't even have the answer, it just came out somehow. But the real confirmation is the guest, it's who tells you you did a great job, like what you're doing actually works for you. Because at the end of the day, this is what we're doing, except for ourselves, the hospitality and everything. It's all about this confirmation of, wow, this works. This is wow.
Yeah. Which is the way you meet the people
Yes.
through this language that is very poetic. I insist on this side of it. It's very poetic and means creativity. And I think what you do is art. You create things, you get inspirations, you work with yourself, you handle your cultural background, your life, your experience, and what you do is never the result, because I feel what you do is absolutely all the time in progress,
Yes.
isn't it?
It's exactly like that. A plate will never be perfect. It can always be better. You can always try a different combination. A good plate that comes today out, in a couple of months it might be something different. First, for the season change, and second, because you always come out with something new that say, why did I thought about it before? It's better now. And
Yeah.
you also get bored after a while. So you're always dynamic. You always want to change. You always want to do different and more. Not to stop there.
What you just said anticipated the answer to another question, which was how you deal with repetition.
So we get to the dynamic part, right?
Yeah.
Which is it's fundamental, because dynamic keeps us alive, keeps us in movement, keeps us awake and aware. Other way we just wake up in the morning, routine, and then we just get bored and we turn it off. So dynamic is innovation, is all those things that comes while you are trying, while you're risking, while you're anticipating something that might not work, but you're trying anyway. Because other way you said, I already tried, it works, let's stick to the plan. There's no plan, there's no way, there's never a plan. It's let's try, and in worst case we try something different. It didn't work, we go on, or we put it on the side. So we have to be dynamic, and we have to be awake all the time.
Absolutely. Changes, yes. Never stop, but always becoming, turning on something. This is magic, basically, the same principle of magic, but also the same principle of some art, dynamic art. Of course, we're not talking about sculpture, but we are talking about Dionysiac arts, like music or theater, acting. You are acting every time you prepare something, and I love what you said about improvisation, because all the time to make different, because you change every day, like every human, so you put a bit of improvisation every day, something different in a different way, and you also are evolving, so you have increasing experience every time you cook.
Sure.
That's something you should try to meet what Erez with his team is creating. And let's talk about the team. I heard you have a lovely team and you have your own way to deal with the team that I see are very young people. And how do you communicate all this approach to your team?
So this is the hardest part, because you cannot copy paste yourself into someone. You need to transmit that. I think the only way to transmit something is honesty. If you are honest and loyal to your idea, they will catch it. You have to be with them. You have to, like a kid, you have to raise them. You have to raise an idea, a philosophy. They observe it. So if you keep telling them every ingredient they touch, everything for a certain time, how you approach it, how you see it, and then you let them make a mistake and put their own approach, they will get to where you want while giving you something probably which helps you to also change a bit, maintaining your philosophy of it, obviously, but it's only about consistency, staying there with them, showing them and bringing them to try, just make mistakes.
Yeah.
Try.
Sure. What do you think is the best quality, the best side of the personality you're looking for a young person that would like to join you?
Yeah, well, it's those sentences that everyone is saying, but everyone are right to say that because it's kind of a kitsch phrase to say, passion. It's just about that. It's just about willing to wake up in the morning and giving yourself to that because it takes time. It's not something that you do now and after 5 minutes you see the result. Might be like that in certain cases, might be after 2 weeks, might be after longer. It's something that you need to really want to do because you like the daily, the moment act, what is happening now that will lead to someone or this even impatient to see how it will become and follow it, but know that you need the patient to see what it will become into. This is the new, I think, this is the modern cuisine now becoming, thanks to Roma and all those restaurants now that apply this fermentation approach and all those processes that takes time, takes patience and observation. You just cannot take a product and say it's ready. It will be like that. It doesn't work like that. It works if you take already prepared product from the supermarket or something that we've been handled before. In our case, you just need to know that you start today, you don't know when and how it's going to end, and what it will become into, and where you're going to use it. Sometimes you just make something because you want to try to make it. A vinegar that is a part of a recipe, or paste, or something, just salamoya, all these kind of things that someday you will use it somehow, but you have it there.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. This approach is really vibrant and full of life. This is very, very, very attractive. And I'm impressed how Erez is contemporary somehow, because he got many different techniques, because he mentioned salamoya, he mentioned vinegar, he mentioned different things that belongs to Italian tradition, not only to Italian tradition, to many cuisine tradition, but needs technique. How important is the technique?
So I think it's fundamental because here we're not home cooking, and here we deliver an experience which needs to be perfect 360. It's not just know how to cook well, good flavors, and then you deliver it. There's much more behind it. Other way, we will be just like any other place which is good, but you don't deliver an experience of flavors and of presentation and of both together. So I think you need to know what is happening inside to make it better, to make it to the detail. You know how it actually works, the technical details of it. And once you acquire it, you know how to handle products better and how to refine them. If it's coloring, which means flavor, if it's texture, which means consistency, like how you would understand it while you're eating it, you're chewing it. All this kind of combination will make the experience different. Knowing to do it and knowing how to handle it will make you better. It will make it more clear. And I think this is what we are, not us, all chefs that handling this kind of, decided to do this kind of cuisine, they're all about it. They're all about technique, and then with the techniques they know how to do, they will play with different things and maybe make something new, invent something.
Absolutely. You remind me an Italian proverbio. You know, proverbio are drops of wisdom.
Yeah.
And the proverbio, I'm sure you know that, it says, impara l'arte e mettila da parte. Which means learn the art, the technique, and then put aside, then forget it. And this is the approach of art. Basically, you have to learn, but you have to be able to forget and go forward in this dynamic process, which is the base of the sense of sustainability of Kaima.
And of nature, because nature is always dynamic, is always changing. We saw before that we still have figs outside. Like you don't have control over it. You
Absolutely.
have to follow it. You have to be dynamic as
Absolutely.
it is.
Definitely, to meet Erez and his cuisine is an experience not to miss. Okay?
Here we have those two approaches of Kaima. One would be our bistro, which is the more simple and approachable approach we have towards client, that they can come, just have a light lunch, just have something fast and easygoing. So we don't complicate anything, we just give pure honest flavors, and we play a little bit with the traditional or just with simple dishes. Obviously we cannot just keep it simple. This is a bit more sophisticated. This is a presentation of our gourmet menu, which it's the beginning of the tasting menu. While the client is choosing his experience, his percorso, what he's going to do tonight, he's having some snacks, which is grissino with we have a celery root puree, and then we have breadcrumbs with wild fennel, and whatever we find outside in the season. So now we saw earlier outside, we have those flowers from our garlic chive. We have the Sichuan pepper leaves. We have some tajet leaves, wild fennel, and then also the breadcrumbs are wild fennel. So if we find the wood sorrel or whatever, it will be on this grissino. Every client will get a different kind of flower. So it's presenting what is outside before you come in. This is the first presentation. Then we have carta musica, which is just a simple snack without complicating anything. It's just Kaima philosophy, taking the leftovers of our yeast, mother yeast, putting it with the flour, the local flour. In this case, we use the Senatore Capelli, putting some seeds, and just use whatever each one of this. I let them do whatever they want. They choose the mix, and then the client will know every day what they have according to what they wanted to do this day. Okay, so here I choose to present you something really, really simple, which is the idea of the bistro. And in this case, it's something from my home. So the thing is that in Italy, they love chickpeas.
Yeah.
So our traditional plates really works here. And I choose to do something that is only about me, but it's also for the palate of the Italians. Why I did like that? Because it's bistro, and this is where people come to eat good and something that will satisfy them. It's not the experience, it's a different experience, it's a different approach. So I think this is the perfect example. So we have the chickpeas. In this case, I choose to do the recipe without how they do usually in the tradition. It's they put the white part of the bread inside milk or just water, and then they put inside for texture. I think there is another way to get the same texture without the bread. and I think you will tell me that I'm right.
Okay.
So this got no gluten,
No gluten.
and this is vegan,
Sure.
and this is full power and energy and vitamins and everything is here. So this is a really good plate for lunch. I won't lie, it's a bit heavy, so it's a good plate to know that I'm taking it to take my day. We serve it with tahini sauce.
Tahini.
Okay. There is here some peperoncino red sauce. Okay, like the Italian salsa rossa,
Fantastic.
picante. So it's a bit spicy. Then we have another version of the chickpeas, which is cooked chickpeas served with Moroccan lemon, which is a fermented lemon, smoked paprika, and then aromatic herbs, which is parsley, coriander, wild fennel. We saw again what we have here. It's the flower of the chive. Okay, so this is something from my home that is just to start from. Then my twist here is just the bread that is coming together along to the falafel. So in Israel or wherever you eat falafel, they take pita, the bread with the hole, with the taska. Okay? So you put everything inside, you put the falafel and you eat. So it's not for lunch. You're not gonna start to make yourself a sandwich here. So I did a fermented potato bread, which you eat the same but with more elegance. So this is the small twist that there is to put it in a lunchtime.
Thank you very much, Adam.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Ernesto. This is he's responsible for this texture, okay, the bread of it being raised. So yeah, Ernesto is based on rye flour. That's why it's got this gray color. Now it just has been fed before the second fed of the evening. That will be ready in the early morning for the bread of the day before tomorrow. So 3 days process. Nothing special. Everyone is doing like that. Each one's got his own. You can see here how alive and bubbly it is.
Yeah, fantastic.
And
You said
how
it's
sweet and
from
tangy.
rice flour.
Rye flour, rye. Say that. Yeah.
So you cannot renovate with wheat flour.
You can. There is half a part of white flour, a strong white flour, and half part like another part, the other half of rye flour. Yeah. And you can transform it to another slowly changing it every day, and then at a certain point there will be just the other flour that you.
Thank you. Big comment.
Okay, so here I choose to present you a plate that is a development, as we spoke, of something we had. It's a dish that started in the springtime when we found the ramsons, the aglio orzino. So the aglio orzino, we used to do pesto, we used to do a sauce for a pork dish in the evening, and then we found out that we have a lot of leftovers that are still full of flavors. So we put them inside the dough of this pasta, cappelletti bugiato, which means layer cappelletto. Why? Because there is no filling in this pasta. If you move now the pasta and you play, you see it's just the form is cappelletto, but it's empty. There is no filling. The filling is the sauce. So they are like lying to you. There is nothing here. So that was a nice thing that I introduced here in the spring. And now we go to the period that there's no more aglio orzino. Also our stock or what I could collect during the spring finished. So now it's rucola. So here we're playing with rucola, with pistachio, with some olives, some kind of ingredients that make sense together. And then we added something that came all of a sudden. Talking with the suppliers, I found a supplier here, Fattoria dei Seri, which they make dairy products. They make the mozzarella, they make scamorza. Here they make ricotta salata, which we just shave on the pasta, and it's local ingredient that usually you find only in the south of Italy.
Yeah,
This is
true,
where it comes from,
true.
but we have it here. So I'm happy to use something that is not from, it's not Tuscan, but it's made in Tuscany with Tuscan ingredients or
Yeah.
materia prima. Like
Sure.
everything comes here. We source everything from here. So just develop of a plate that can be played however we want. Before it was with the ragu of grigio, which is the local pork. Then with the aglio orzino before that, the ramsons. Every time during the season we change and we always
Variations.
vary. Exactly.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So here, this is the white truffle for poor people. That is just raw chestnuts that we just picked together while walking in the woods. So we just skin it,
You peel.
you peel it, take the skin off, and then just shave it on like truffle. And this is the result. You can see just
Fantastic.
the flavor. I will let you judge and say for yourself. So this is our trove plate. We stay simple and the presentation is really minimal. It's just about eating good. So the technique always, we need to present good techniques and the flavor. So it's it's a simple dish because it's a bistro, it's a lunch, it's nothing too much. But then we give some twist. So in this case, the quality of the ingredients are the highest. The trout is really fresh, it's coming here from Molin di Bucchio. The spinach I just picked up now from outside, we saw them earlier. It's a really specific variety of spinach. And then we make this sauce made from this chive we saw earlier, and parsley, and some cream. Okay, so this will be what will make it all nice together. So again, this is bistro approach. So something really like, how would you say, goloso, you know? A piece of veal rib cooked for many hours and then been roasted on the grill with a glaze of beetroot. And we took the cooking liquids, we reduced them, we put it together, and we made this nice, like a barbecue glaze. And then traditional potatoes and onion. So we just give them a nice kick and some chive and the way we cook them with the chicken broth and all those little things that we have in the kitchen that makes it a bit different than what you just make at home. Either way, you cook it at home and we want that to come.
Sure.
So here we serve you and we cook you a bit different.